All right, so here we are again, and I'm going on to the next problem, which is we've actually got multiple ship controllers. Disconnect here. So we've got the remote control, we've also got the cockpit. And in the code, we're just using the first one, whatever that is. And that works okay, but it may not be the one we want. So uh, maybe the user's in one and it's facing one direction, but we found a different one and it's facing a different direction, and it's going to align with whatever controller it gets to have down, in this case, um, be aligned to gravity, and that may not be what the user expects. So we want to get the best ship controller. So I'm going to do ship controller, my mouse out of the way. And right now, we just do this. But I'm going to add a routine here. Just going to go down to the bottom. I've got this routine already typed out. What I want to do is I want to check for if the user, if the player is in one of the cockpits first, and use that one. So I'm going to go through. If the player is in one, I'm going to store that, and then we'll go through and check, so now it's not null, and it's going to return that. If the user's not, the player's not in any of them, and we haven't already found one, we'll go through and we'll look. First, we look for remote controls, and then we look for others. And notice that we have the can control ship, because there are some ship controllers that can't control the ship. And those are seats and cryopods and things you can sit in and can contain player as a ship controller or a cockpit, but they can't be controlled, so that's why we check for that. So now this will return whatever is the best ship controller, and we'll also save that so we optimize searching for it the next time. So now we can change this to be get main controller, and now we can just say my ship controller. The only spot that is? Nope, here too. There we go. Alright, so let's compile that, make sure it still works. Yes, it did. We'll deploy that. Now I'm going to copy this from the place where it makes it, or it deploys it. Go script demo, there we go. Here's the code, okay. And now it's running. And it's still showing us the 2, but it probably picked up the remote. So let's go look at that. We want to know which one is the ship controller. We don't really need this anymore, but I'll take this code and that'll tell us which one it's using. We also don't need a list of all the gyros, so let's get rid of that list. Just clean up this code a little bit as we go. We did want those in the beginning so we could see what was going on, but now we don't need them. We also don't really need the down. Comment that out. Got to compile to make sure the code's good. Yes, it is. And we'll deploy this again. For speed, I'll copy it to the clipboard. There we go. Now it's showing us it got the cockpit because we're in it. So if we get out of the cockpit, Let's look. It still says cockpit. Now let's remote control. Let's control this. Now we're in the remote control. So now it says remote control. If we had run the program initially not in any control, so let's go back and recompile. It also says remote control because it started, nobody's in the cockpit, nobody's in the remote, so it's going to go through the code and choose the best, which it starts off with the remote control. When it finds one, it stops. All right. So that was that easy section. You can still see our code is running here. And we can toggle off. We still have the toggle code from before. So now it's not going to align. So we run the toggle again. There we go. All right. So now we have this one, and it's on to the next problem.